Waking up at 4 a.m. enhances time management skills by creating an environment where tasks are approached with greater intention and efficiency. The early hours of the day provide a quiet and distraction-free period, allowing individuals to focus on their most important tasks without interruption. Without the usual chaos of emails, notifications, and demands from others, there is a unique opportunity to plan the day strategically. Time becomes a valuable asset that is consciously allocated to activities that contribute to long-term success. Instead of rushing through the day feeling overwhelmed, early risers gain control over their schedule, ensuring that priorities are addressed before external distractions arise. A structured morning routine leads to a greater sense of purpose and direction. When the day begins in a deliberate and productive manner, momentum builds that carries through the rest of the day. There is a noticeable difference in the way challenges are approached when the morning is spent setting clear intentions rather than reacting to external pressures. Successful individuals use this time to establish a framework for their daily actions, setting goals that align with their long-term vision. This proactive approach ensures that time is not wasted on activities that do not contribute to progress, creating a consistent path toward achievement. One of the greatest benefits of waking up early is the ability to work on personal development without sacrificing other responsibilities. Many people struggle to find time for activities such as reading, journaling, meditating, or exercising, but the quiet morning hours provide the perfect opportunity for self-improvement. Investing in personal growth before the rest of the world wakes up allows individuals to develop skills, expand knowledge, and strengthen their mindset. This habit of continuous learning leads to long-term success by ensuring that progress is made every day, regardless of external circumstances. The psychological advantage of waking up early cannot be underestimated. Starting the day before the majority of people instills a sense of accomplishment that fuels confidence and motivation. Knowing that meaningful work has already been completed while others are still asleep creates a mindset of productivity and success. This feeling of being ahead in the day fosters a positive attitude, reducing stress and increasing resilience when facing challenges. Instead of feeling rushed and reactive, early risers develop a sense of calm control over their daily activities, allowing them to make better decisions and maintain focus. Physical health also benefits from an early wake-up routine, as there is more time to prioritize movement, nutrition, and self-care. Exercise often takes a backseat in busy schedules, but waking up early eliminates the excuse of not having enough time. Morning workouts improve energy levels, boost metabolism, and enhance mental clarity, creating a foundation for high performance throughout the day. Additionally, early mornings provide the chance to eat a nutritious breakfast, setting the stage for healthier choices and increased productivity. Prioritizing well-being in the morning establishes habits that support long-term success in all areas of life. Discipline is one of the most valuable traits developed through waking up at 4 a.m. Success is built on consistency, and training the mind and body to wake up early every day requires commitment. Over time, this discipline extends into other aspects of life, reinforcing the ability to stay dedicated to goals even when motivation fluctuates. The habit of following through with an early wake-up time strengthens the ability to persevere in challenging situations, ensuring that setbacks do not derail progress. The more disciplined a person becomes, the more they can accomplish, making early mornings a powerful tool for achievement. The extra time gained in the morning allows for deep focus on high-impact tasks that often get neglected during the rush of the day. Important projects, creative work, and problem-solving require undisturbed attention, and the early hours provide the perfect setting for this kind of deep work. Without distractions, the quality and efficiency of work improve, leading to faster and more meaningful progress. Those who consistently wake up early take advantage of this uninterrupted time to push forward on their biggest goals, gaining an edge over those who struggle with time constraints. Another key benefit of waking up early is the ability to create balance between personal and professional responsibilities. Many people find themselves caught in a cycle of constant work, leaving little time for relaxation, family, or personal interests. However, when the day starts early, there is more time to engage in meaningful activities outside of work. This balance reduces burnout, increases satisfaction, and enhances overall well-being. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by responsibilities, early risers have the space to enjoy life while still achieving their goals. Mental resilience is strengthened through the habit of waking up early, as it requires overcoming initial discomfort to build a powerful routine. At first, the transition may be challenging, but pushing through discomfort leads to greater mental toughness. The ability to wake up at 4 a.m. despite wanting to stay in bed translates into a stronger mindset that can handle adversity. This mental fortitude becomes a valuable asset in all areas of life, enabling individuals to push past obstacles and continue striving for success even when faced with difficulties. The long-term impact of waking up early is a transformed lifestyle that prioritizes growth, productivity, and well-being. Over time, this habit creates a compound effect where small daily actions add up to significant results. Goals that once seemed distant become achievable because consistent effort has been applied over time. The early hours provide the space for strategic planning, disciplined execution, and continuous improvement. Those who commit to this routine experience profound changes in their mindset, work ethic, and overall quality of life, leading to sustained success and fulfillment. Waking up at 4 a.m. forces a shift in mindset that directly impacts goal setting and achievement. In the quiet, undisturbed hours of the morning, there is an opportunity to focus on long-term objectives without distractions. Most people struggle to find time for deep work, personal development, and strategic thinking due to the demands of daily life. However, an early start creates a space where goals can be clearly defined and systematically pursued. The process of setting goals becomes more intentional as there is time to reflect on progress, identify obstacles, and adjust plans accordingly. This habit instills a proactive approach to success, ensuring that aspirations are not just wishes, but structured targets with actionable steps. A critical component of goal achievement is clarity, and waking up early enhances mental clarity. The brain functions optimally after a night of rest, providing a fresh perspective that allows individuals to evaluate their ambitions with precision. Without the distractions of email, social media, or immediate work demands, the mind is free to explore possibilities and create a roadmap for success. This clarity translates into better decision-making, as early risers can prioritize their most important tasks rather than reacting to external pressure. Over time, this discipline of morning reflection solidifies a clear vision for personal and professional growth. One of the greatest barriers to success is procrastination, and waking up early naturally combats this habit. When the day begins with a sense of purpose, there is less room for delay. Instead of spending the morning in a reactive state, successful individuals use this time to make progress toward their goals. They establish daily milestones that align with their larger objectives, ensuring that each day brings them closer to success. The consistency of taking small, deliberate actions every morning compounds over time, creating unstoppable momentum toward achieving big ambitions. Discipline is a defining factor in goal achievement, and early mornings reinforce this trait. Success is rarely the result of talent alone. It is built through consistent effort and disciplined habits. Waking up at 4 a.m. requires commitment, and those who maintain this practice cultivate a mindset of discipline that extends into other areas of life. Whether it is committing to a fitness routine, studying a new skill, or growing a business, the ability to wake up early and stay focused strengthens the resilience needed to push through challenges. This unwavering dedication ensures that setbacks are temporary and that progress remains steady. Self-improvement is a key element of achieving ambitious goals, and an early wake-up routine provides time for personal growth. Reading, journaling, meditating, or exercising in the early hours all contribute to mental, emotional, and physical well-being. These activities build the foundation for long-term success by enhancing knowledge, reducing stress, and improving focus. Successful people understand that achieving big goals is not just about external accomplishments, but also about becoming the person capable of handling success. Investing in self-improvement in the morning ensures continuous growth, which translates into greater achievements over time. Another major advantage of waking up early is the ability to set and maintain long-term objectives. Many people lose sight of their bigger aspirations due to daily distractions, urgent tasks, and unforeseen challenges. However, having dedicated time each morning to revisit goals, track progress, and adjust strategies prevents stagnation. When long-term objectives are consistently reviewed and refined, there is a greater chance of staying on course despite obstacles. This practice ensures that goals are not just set once and forgotten, but are actively pursued with an evolving strategy. The psychological impact of an early start fosters a winning mentality. Waking up before the rest of the world creates a sense of accomplishment that carries throughout the day. This early victory sets the tone for productivity, confidence, and motivation. Knowing that progress is being made toward meaningful goals, provides a strong sense of purpose and fulfillment. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the demands of life, early risers feel in control, prepared, and driven to achieve success. This mindset, cultivated through the discipline of waking up early, becomes a powerful force in turning dreams into reality. Waking up early naturally enhances time management skills by forcing a structured approach to the day. When the alarm rings at 4 a.m., there is a clear need to plan ahead, ensuring that every hour is used efficiently. Without a plan, waking up early becomes meaningless. And that's where time management becomes a crucial skill. People who start their day early quickly realize that time is their most valuable asset, and learning how to maximize it creates a ripple effect on productivity, success, and overall life satisfaction. Instead of reacting to daily tasks and responsibilities, early risers have the advantage of taking control of their schedules, allowing them to dictate their day rather than letting the day dictate them. Starting the morning with intention means setting priorities before distractions arise. Early hours are free from emails, phone calls, and the rush of daily life, providing an opportunity to focus on high-impact tasks without interruptions. With a clear head and no external pressures, early risers can map out their most important objectives, ensuring that their day aligns with their bigger goals. This habit prevents procrastination, reduces stress, and leads to a more structured approach to work and personal life. Many successful individuals attribute their achievements to their ability to plan effectively, and an early start provides the perfect window to develop this essential skill. Breaking the day into structured time blocks ensures that every moment is accounted for and used efficiently. This approach, often called time blocking, allows individuals to dedicate specific periods to focused work, meetings, creative thinking, and relaxation. Early risers have a distinct advantage because they can allocate time in the morning for deep work before distractions set in. By setting deadlines and allocating specific hours for different tasks, productivity increases while unnecessary delays are minimized. This structured approach to the day prevents burnout, improves efficiency, and ensures that the most critical tasks are completed without last-minute stress. Waking up early also encourages reflection and self-evaluation, which are key components of effective time management. In the quiet hours of the morning, individuals have the opportunity to assess their previous day, identify areas for improvement, and adjust their approach accordingly. Taking time to evaluate progress on long-term goals helps in making necessary adjustments, preventing wasted time on unproductive activities. By consistently analyzing what works and what doesn't, early risers develop a mindset of continuous improvement, allowing them to refine their routines and maximize their potential. When time is managed well, decision-making becomes more deliberate and strategic. Many people waste hours on indecision, jumping between tasks without a clear plan. With an early start, individuals can map out their priorities in advance, reducing time spent on trivial choices. Decision fatigue is a real challenge, and by organizing tasks in the early morning, mental energy is conserved for more critical decisions later in the day. This proactive approach ensures that important choices are made with clarity rather than under pressure, leading to better results in both professional and personal life. An early wake-up time also eliminates the common excuse of not having enough time for important but often neglected activities. Many people struggle to fit exercise, reading, meditation, or personal projects into their daily schedules. However, waking up early provides extra time to incorporate these activities without interfering with work or family responsibilities. This additional time helps in personal growth, learning new skills, and maintaining a balanced lifestyle, all of which contribute to long-term success. Those who rise early understand that time is not something to be found, but something to be created through discipline and planning. Time management is not just about squeezing more tasks into the day, but about optimizing productivity and energy levels. Waking up at 4 a.m. creates a sense of urgency and responsibility that carries throughout the day. When the day begins with clear objectives, there is less room for wasted time, distractions, or unproductive habits. This mindset shift leads to greater efficiency, improved focus, and a stronger sense of accomplishment over time. Mastering time management results in greater achievements, reduced stress, and an overall improvement in life satisfaction. Waking up early creates an opportunity to focus on both physical and mental health, allowing the body and mind to function at their best. In a world where most people rush through their mornings without prioritizing well-being, Those who rise early gain an advantage by intentionally dedicating time to self-care. The morning hours offer a unique chance to develop consistent routines that contribute to long-term health, whether it's through exercise, meditation, or mindful practices that set a positive tone for the day. The benefits of starting the day with healthy habits extend far beyond just feeling good in the moment. They impact energy levels, focus, and overall productivity throughout the day. Exercise in the morning is one of the most powerful habits for boosting both physical and mental well-being. Engaging in physical activity first thing in the morning increases blood flow, releases endorphins, and enhances cognitive function. Whether it's a full workout, a short yoga session, or even a brisk walk, moving the body early in the day helps improve mood and reduce stress. Studies have shown that morning workouts lead to increased consistency because there are fewer distractions compared to later in the day. When exercise is postponed until the afternoon or evening, unexpected responsibilities often arise, leading to skipped workouts. By making it a priority in the morning, it becomes a non-negotiable part of the routine, ensuring long-term health benefits. Beyond physical activity, early mornings provide the perfect time for mental health practices such as meditation, journaling, or deep breathing exercises. These habits help reduce anxiety, increase self-awareness, and build resilience against daily stressors. Meditation, for example, trains the mind to remain calm and focused, allowing individuals to navigate challenges more effectively. Journaling is another powerful tool, helping to process emotions, clarify thoughts, and set clear intentions for the day. By starting the morning with these mindful practices, the rest of the day becomes more manageable, with a greater sense of clarity and purpose. A healthy morning routine also influences dietary choices throughout the day. When time is taken to prepare a nutritious breakfast, it sets the foundation for maintaining energy and focus. Skipping breakfast or choosing unhealthy options can lead to energy crashes, poor concentration, and impulsive food choices later in the day. By eating a balanced meal with protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates, the body and brain receive the necessary fuel to perform optimally. Hydration is another key factor. Drinking water in the morning helps rehydrate the body, flush out toxins, and kickstart metabolism. Many successful individuals prioritize hydration first thing in the morning to boost their energy levels and overall well-being. Establishing a consistent sleep schedule is another crucial component of enhancing physical and mental health through an early morning routine. Waking up at 4 a.m. requires going to bed earlier, which naturally improves sleep quality. When sleep is prioritized, cognitive function, memory, and mood all improve. Many people suffer from poor sleep habits due to late-night screen time, irregular schedules, and overstimulation before bed. By adopting a disciplined routine that includes an early bedtime, sleep becomes more restorative, leading to increased energy and sharper focus the next day. Spending time in natural light during the morning also has a profound impact on health. Exposure to sunlight helps regulate the body's circadian rhythm, boosting mood and promoting better sleep. Taking a walk outside, doing some stretching in natural light, or even sitting near a window can improve vitamin D levels and reduce feelings of fatigue. These small but powerful habits contribute to long-term well-being and increased vitality. The mental clarity gained from a structured morning routine allows for better decision-making and increased emotional stability. People who wake up early and take care of their physical and mental health tend to feel more in control of their lives. They experience less stress, greater confidence, and an overall sense of well-being. By consistently dedicating time to healthy habits in the morning, individuals build a foundation for success in all areas of life. Waking up at 4 a.m. every day for a week revealed an interesting shift in my mental discipline and overall self-control. Initially, it seemed like an overwhelming challenge, but over time it became clear that this early morning routine was shaping my mindset in unexpected ways. The act of forcing myself out of bed at such an early hour required a level of self-discipline that naturally spilled over into other aspects of my life. The process of overcoming the initial resistance to waking up early gave me a sense of control over my habits, thoughts, and actions, allowing me to develop a more structured and productive approach to my day. The first challenge was overcoming the natural temptation to hit the snooze button. The moment my alarm went off, my mind would immediately attempt to convince me to stay in bed just a little longer. However, pushing past that initial hesitation became a powerful mental exercise. Each morning, I reminded myself that discipline was not about doing what felt good in the moment, but rather making choices that aligned with my long-term goals. By consistently getting out of bed without hesitation, I started strengthening my ability to override impulsive decisions, which carried over into other areas of my life, such as diet, exercise, and productivity. As the days went on, I realized that waking up early wasn't just about discipline in the moment. It was also about planning ahead. I had to make decisions the night before to ensure I followed through with my commitment. This meant going to bed at a reasonable hour, eliminating distractions before sleep, and setting up my morning routine in advance. By doing this, I was training my mind to think ahead, anticipate obstacles, and create solutions before problems arose. The ability to plan effectively and stick to a structured schedule gave me a greater sense of control over my time and actions. Another key realization was the way this routine influenced my ability to stay focused. With fewer distractions in the early morning, I had the mental clarity to prioritize tasks without feeling overwhelmed. There were no emails, phone calls, or social media notifications demanding my attention, which allowed me to concentrate deeply on important work. This period of uninterrupted focus strengthened my ability to engage in deep work, and as a result, I became more efficient throughout the day. The discipline I developed in the morning translated into better time management and a greater ability to resist distractions later on. This self-control also extended into my physical habits. Because I was waking up earlier, I became more mindful of how I was treating my body. I became more intentional about staying hydrated, stretching, and fueling my body with healthy foods. I also noticed a reduction in procrastination when it came to fitness. Instead of putting off exercise, I incorporated movement into my morning routine, which helped set a positive tone for the rest of the day. I started to view discipline not as a restriction, but as a tool for achieving consistency and balance in different areas of my life. As my mental and physical discipline strengthened, my emotional resilience also improved. The process of pushing myself outside my comfort zone each morning helped me develop a greater sense of confidence in my ability to follow through with commitments. Each time I resisted the urge to stay in bed, I was reinforcing the belief that I had control over my actions rather than being controlled by temporary feelings of comfort or laziness. This sense of self-mastery allowed me to approach challenges with a more proactive mindset. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by tasks, I focused on taking small, intentional actions that moved me forward. By the end of the week, it was clear that waking up at 4 a.m. was not just a test of willpower, but a powerful exercise in mental conditioning. The habits I built in the early hours of the morning influenced my decision-making, productivity, and overall sense of control. Developing this level of self-discipline made it easier to set and achieve goals, maintain focus, and build better habits in all areas of life. The impact of waking up at 4 a.m. extended beyond mental clarity and productivity. It brought a significant shift in my overall energy levels and physical well-being. The way I started my morning set the tone for the rest of the day. And by waking up early, I had the opportunity to take control of my energy rather than allowing it to be dictated by external factors. I noticed a distinct improvement in my physical energy, my ability to sustain focus throughout the day, and an overall sense of vitality that I had not experienced before. One of the first changes I observed was the way my body adjusted to the early mornings. Initially, the transition was difficult, but within a few days, my body naturally adapted. I started feeling tired earlier in the evening, which helped me establish a more consistent sleep schedule. Waking up at 4 a.m. meant I had to prioritize getting to bed earlier, which resulted in better quality sleep. With fewer late-night distractions, I experienced deeper, more restorative rest. My body felt refreshed in the morning, and I no longer struggled with grogginess or fatigue that often came with inconsistent sleep patterns. This change in sleep quality had a direct impact on my energy levels. Rather than dragging myself through the morning with the help of caffeine, I found that I had natural energy that lasted throughout the day. Waking up before sunrise allowed me to align my routine with my body's natural circadian rhythm. By going to bed earlier and waking up before the rush of daily life began, I avoided the mental fog that often comes from an inconsistent sleep cycle. The early mornings gave me a sense of calm and balance, allowing me to wake up feeling refreshed instead of exhausted. Another key factor in my improved energy was the ability to start my day with movement. With extra time in the morning, I incorporated physical activity into my routine, whether it was stretching, yoga, short run, or strength training. I found that exercising early in the day helped me feel more energized and focused. My body felt stronger, and I no longer experienced the sluggishness that often came from staying in bed too long. The increased circulation and movement helped wake up my muscles, making me feel more alert and ready to take on the day. I also became more intentional with my morning nutrition. Instead of rushing through breakfast or grabbing something quick and processed, I had time to prepare a balanced meal. I focused on fueling my body with nutrient-dense foods that provided sustained energy rather than relying on sugar or caffeine for a temporary boost. Eating a wholesome breakfast set the foundation for my energy levels, ensuring that I felt strong and alert rather than dealing with mid-morning crashes. A surprising benefit of waking up at 4 a.m. was the way it reduced stress and tension in my body. When the day started on my terms, rather than reacting to external demands, I felt more in control, my cortisol levels remained stable, and I experienced fewer instances of anxiety or stress-induced fatigue. Without the rush of jumping straight into emails, notifications, or responsibilities, I had time to ease into the day with mindfulness and purpose. This reduced the feeling of overwhelm and allowed me to maintain steady energy levels without feeling drained. Another unexpected change was my ability to maintain focus for longer periods. When I used to wake up later, I often felt sluggish and struggled to stay engaged in tasks. However, with the extra time in the morning to wake up gradually, move my body, and fuel it properly, I noticed that my attention span increased. I could concentrate for longer without experiencing mental fatigue, and I was more efficient with my work. My brain felt sharper, and I was able to retain information and solve problems with greater ease. As the days progressed, I realized that this newfound energy was not just about waking up earlier, but about the habits that came with it. Prioritizing rest, movement, and nutrition in the early hours of the day created a positive cycle that sustained me throughout my daily activities. Waking up at 4 a.m. created a shift in my mental clarity that I had never experienced before. In the early morning hours before the world wakes up, there is a profound stillness that allows the mind to function at its highest capacity. Without distractions from notifications, conversations, or external demands, I found myself able to think more clearly and deeply. This uninterrupted time became my most productive window of the day. I noticed that my thoughts were more structured, and I could focus on complex tasks without feeling mentally drained. My creativity flourished, and I had the space to plan my day with precision rather than reacting to whatever came my way. One of the first changes I observed was my ability to make better decisions. When the mind is constantly bombarded with information, it struggles to prioritize effectively. By starting my day in a quiet, distraction-free environment, I gave my brain the space it needed to process information without pressure. I was able to weigh my options more carefully and choose the best course of action, rather than making impulsive choices. My decision-making process became more strategic, and I felt a greater sense of control over my life. Another benefit was my increased ability to problem solve. Complex issues that once seemed overwhelming now felt manageable. My brain had time to work through challenges without interruption, allowing me to approach problems with a calm and logical mindset. Without the stress of immediate deadlines or external distractions, I was able to break problems down into smaller parts and tackle them systematically. This clarity led to faster solutions and more effective outcomes. A major contributor to this enhanced clarity was the lack of mental clutter. Throughout the day, the brain accumulates an overwhelming amount of information, from social media updates to work stress. By waking up early, I was able to start my day with a clean slate before my mind became overloaded. The mental clarity I gained in the morning carried through the rest of my day, making it easier to stay focused and organized. I found that I was less reactive to stressors and more capable of handling challenges with a clear and rational mindset. I also noticed that my ability to retain information improved. With fewer distractions in the morning, I was able to absorb and process information more effectively. Whether it was reading a book, learning a new skill, or reviewing important work documents, I retained knowledge at a deeper level. My mind was sharper, and I found myself recalling information with greater ease throughout the day. This made learning and personal development more efficient, allowing me to grow in ways I hadn't anticipated. Another surprising benefit was the impact on my creativity. Without the usual noise and interruptions, my mind was free to wander and explore new ideas. I began to notice connections between concepts that I had never seen before. Whether it was brainstorming new projects, coming up with innovative solutions, or simply thinking more deeply about my goals, my creative thinking improved dramatically. The early morning hours became a space for reflection, allowing me to generate ideas that felt original and insightful. The impact of mental clarity extended beyond work and productivity. I found that my emotional intelligence improved as well. With a clearer mind, I was more aware of my emotions and reactions. I was able to process my feelings with greater objectivity and respond to situations with a calm and measured approach. Instead of reacting impulsively, I took the time to consider my responses, leading to better communication and stronger relationships. This newfound awareness helped me navigate conversations more effectively and approach conflicts with a level-headed mindset. By the end of the week, it was clear that waking up early had given me a mental advantage I never expected. I had more control over my thoughts, a greater ability to focus, and a deeper sense of clarity that enhanced every aspect of my life. Waking up at 4 a.m. introduced a new level of discipline into my daily routine. At first, the idea of rising before dawn seemed daunting, but as I settled into the rhythm, I realized that the act of waking up early was a mental exercise in self-control. Each morning, I had to make a choice: stay comfortable in bed or push myself to rise and start the day with intention. The process of making that decision daily reinforced my ability to control my impulses, making it easier to maintain discipline in other areas of life. It was no longer just about waking up early, it was about proving to myself that I had control over my actions rather than being controlled by comfort or laziness. This discipline quickly spilled over into my habits and routines. Because I was up early, I had to be more mindful of my bedtime. I could no longer afford to stay up late watching television or scrolling through my phone. Sleep became a priority, and that meant cutting out distractions at night. The discipline of waking up early forced me to be disciplined with how I spent my evenings, and that led to better sleep, improved focus, and more energy throughout the day. By enforcing structure in one area, I was naturally creating order in many others. Discipline also showed up in the way I approached my work. Before, I would often procrastinate on difficult tasks, telling myself I would do them later. But when I started my day at 4 a.m., there was no later. There was only now. With a quiet and distraction-free environment, I had no excuse to delay my most important work. I built a habit of tackling my most challenging tasks first, knowing that if I did, the rest of the day would feel lighter. This approach not only increased my productivity, but also reduced the mental weight of unfinished tasks hanging over me throughout the day. The sense of control that came with this level of discipline was incredibly empowering. Instead of feeling rushed, behind schedule, or overwhelmed, I felt ahead of the game. The early hours gave me a head start that carried through the entire day. Rather than being reactive, constantly responding to emails, notifications, and unexpected problems, I became proactive. I dictated the flow of my day instead of letting external factors dictate it for me. This shift in mindset gave me a new level of confidence. Another interesting change was how I approached health and fitness. When I started waking up early, I had time to exercise before the day even began. There were no excuses about being too busy or too tired. The discipline of waking up early extended to making healthier choices. Eating better, drinking more water, and staying active all became easier because I had established a foundation of discipline that carried through every decision. I started to see how small, consistent actions created a ripple effect that improved multiple aspects of life. There was also a change in my mental resilience. Because I was practicing self-discipline every morning, my tolerance for discomfort increased. Things that used to seem difficult, whether it was pushing through a tough workout, staying focused on deep work, or maintaining good habits, became easier. I was training my mind to do what was necessary rather than what was easy. Over time, this made me more resilient in handling stress, setbacks, and unexpected challenges. The act of waking up at 4 a.m. was a daily test of my willpower, and passing that test consistently strengthened my ability to persevere through difficult situations. Self-discipline is a skill that compounds over time. The more it is practiced, the stronger it becomes. What started as a simple experiment in waking up early turned into a lesson in personal growth. The small act of choosing to wake up at 4 a.m. was a reminder that I am in control of my habits, my time, and ultimately my life. The first morning I woke up at 4 a.m., I was struck by the silence. The world was still asleep, and for the first time in a long time, there were no distractions. No phone calls, no emails, no notifications demanding my attention, just pure, uninterrupted time. It felt strange at first, almost unsettling, but as I sat down to plan my day, I realized the power of this quiet. With no interruptions, I was able to think clearly and focus deeply on the tasks ahead. The early morning gave me the space to prioritize my goals without the chaos of the day interfering. As the week went on, I started to notice a pattern. When I began working at 4:30 or 5 a.m., I was able to get more done in a few hours than I usually did in an entire day. There was no mental clutter, no distractions pulling me in different directions. My mind was fresh, sharp, and ready to tackle deep work. The usual midday sluggishness never arrived because I had already completed my most important tasks before the world had even woken up. I felt ahead of schedule rather than constantly trying to catch up. This was a major shift. I had always thought of productivity as something that required long hours and grinding through exhaustion, but in reality, the secret was in working smarter, not harder. Another unexpected benefit was the absence of decision fatigue. Throughout the day, we are bombarded with countless small decisions that drain our mental energy. What should I eat? What should I wear? Should I check my phone now? By waking up early and structuring my time intentionally, I eliminated many of these unnecessary choices. My morning routine became automatic. Wake up, hydrate, exercise, plan, and work. There was no room for wasted time or second guessing. The structure created freedom, allowing me to focus on what actually mattered instead of getting lost in trivial decisions. The absence of distractions also allowed me to engage in deeper thinking. Ideas came more easily and my creativity flourished. I found myself writing with greater clarity, solving problems faster, and making decisions with confidence. Without constant interruptions, my brain had the space it needed to process information at a higher level. This made me wonder how much potential is lost when we constantly allow distractions to invade our time. How many ideas go undeveloped? How much energy is wasted switching between tasks? By the fourth day, I had developed a rhythm. My most demanding work was done before 8 a.m., leaving the rest of the day for meetings, communication, and less intensive tasks. I felt more accomplished, less stressed, and surprised. There was a sense of control over my time that I had never experienced before. Instead of being reactive, constantly responding to what the world threw at me, I was proactive. I dictated the course of my day rather than letting circumstances dictate it for me. Another realization was that this level of productivity was not about time management, it was about energy management. Many people stay up late trying to get things done, but their energy levels are depleted. By shifting my focus to the early hours of the day when my mind was at its sharpest, I was able to produce higher quality work in less time. It wasn't about working more hours, it was about making the hours I worked count. By the end of the week, the difference was undeniable. My output had increased, my stress levels had dropped, and my sense of control over my life had strengthened. I understood why so many successful people swear by waking up early. And it is not just about having more time, it is about having better time. The morning hours provide a rare opportunity to operate at peak performance without interference. When used wisely, they can transform the way we work, think, and create. Waking up at 4 a.m. for the first time was a shock to my system. The alarm rang and my immediate instinct was to hit snooze, roll over, and go back to sleep. My body felt heavy, my eyelids refused to stay open, and my mind was filled with excuses. Just 5 more minutes, I told myself. But deep down, I knew that if I gave in, I would break my commitment before it even began. With great effort, I swung my legs over the side of the bed, planted my feet on the floor, and stood up. The first few steps felt sluggish, like I was dragging my body through quicksand. My head was foggy and my thoughts were jumbled. It was a battle between my willpower and my desire for comfort. And in those first few moments, comfort almost won. The first 30 minutes were the hardest. My body wanted to go back to bed. My mind struggled to form coherent thoughts, and my energy levels were at their lowest. But instead of giving in, I splashed cold water on my face, drank a glass of water, and did some light stretching. Slowly, my body started waking up. The grogginess began to fade and a sense of accomplishment started creeping in. I had conquered the first obstacle, the initial resistance. That was the first lesson I learned. The hardest part of waking up early is simply getting out of bed. Once I was up, things got easier. As the days went on, I noticed something interesting. The struggle was still there, but it became less intense. My body started adjusting to the new schedule. I felt less groggy in the mornings, and the temptation to hit snooze weakened. My mind, which had initially fought against the idea of waking up at 4 a.m., started to accept it as the new normal. It was a powerful reminder of how adaptable we are. The discomfort of change is temporary, but the rewards of discipline last far longer. By the third day, something shifted. Instead of dreading the alarm, I found myself waking up before it even rang. My body was resetting its internal clock, aligning with the new routine. The first 30 minutes that had felt unbearable on day one now felt manageable. I still needed a few moments to fully wake up, but the process no longer felt like an uphill battle. My mind became clearer, and my mood improved. Instead of feeling drained, I felt a strange sense of accomplishment before most people had even opened their eyes. Another surprising change was how waking up early impacted my evenings. Since I had to be up at 4 a.m., I naturally started going to bed earlier. This meant cutting out late-night distractions, unnecessary screen time, and mindless scrolling on my phone. My sleep quality improved because I was prioritizing rest instead of squeezing in another episode of a TV show or aimlessly browsing social media. This shift reinforced the idea that discipline in one area of life often spills over into others. Waking up early forced me to be more intentional with my time, which in turn led to better habits all around. Perhaps the most unexpected realization was that the struggle never truly disappears. Even after a week, there were still moments of resistance. Some mornings felt effortless, while others felt like a battle. The difference was that I had built enough momentum to push through the difficult moments. I had proven to myself that I was capable of doing something hard, and that confidence carried over into other areas of my life. It became clear that the key to change is not waiting until it feels easy, but pushing through even when it feels difficult. What started as a challenge quickly became a lesson in resilience, self-discipline, and adaptability. Waking up at 4 a.m. taught me that our biggest limitations often exist in our minds. The excuses, the doubts, the internal resistance, they are all temporary. But once we push past them, we unlock a level of potential we didn't even know we had. The struggle is real, but so are the rewards.